Most of us are convinced we are above average drivers.
That's fair. That's
I'd say for me, I got into social work. I came to UK undecided, didn't know what I wanted to do, and I took a social work class and it just all clicked. As soon as I started hearing about advocating for marginalized populations and social justice, it really clicked. It was just something like, that's it, that's what I want to do. Especially because I grew up in poverty. I've been on food stamps and welfare with my mother, and it was just something so personal. It was like, oh, you mean I can have a career where I fight for people who grew up like me, or in situations like my mother's been in, or like people in my neighborhood. So it just all clicked. I was like, that's it, that's what I want to do. Yeah, so far I've had a few different jobs. I worked at Greenhouse 17, which is the domestic violence shelter for our area. I worked there for about a year. I then worked at Connie Griffith Ballard Towers, which is low income, 62 and up, and independent. And I'm a social worker there. And so then I also on the side started a nonprofit called On the Move Art Studio, which we took a vintage trailer, turned it into a mobile art room, and we go to underserved neighborhoods and do free arts classes for kids. It's always been a dream of mine to start a nonprofit, especially to help kids who grew up in neighborhoods like the neighborhood I grew up in. We had this little nugget of an idea. We wanted to make sure that it was something the community wanted, that the community would support. We didn't want to be paternalistic and say, here's what you need. But the response has been awesome. We will go to different neighborhoods and do classes where we'll meet with the same kids for once a week for 6 weeks in a row, the same 15 to 20 kids. We'll also do little pop-up events. We've gone to Douglas Park to do stuff. We did a Father's Day celebration. They had a field day one time, we went there. We'll go to different neighborhood centers and do one-time crafts. We went to a girls' leadership conference to do a vision board exercise with about 105 girls. Really just all over the place. It's pretty cool. It's very exciting.
Can anyone request that for the On-the-Move Art Studio coming to them, or how does that process work?
We really try to stick with serving at-risk youth or kids in underserved neighborhoods. As long as it fits within our mission, we can usually do it. We do some stuff. For example, once a month we go to Crank and Boom.
Oh, cool.
Any kid who comes gets free ice cream, free arts, and free snacks. And even though it's not in an underserved neighborhood, we work really hard with our partners to make sure our kids get there. And then what you end up having is a blend of kids from all different socioeconomic statuses who come and interact with each other that might not get a chance to. They might go to different schools, live in different neighborhoods, and might never even see each other, even though they're both 10 years old in Lexington.
Yeah.
So anybody can request, but we really try to stick with serving our population that doesn't have the resources that some kids do. I'd say the thing I like about social work is that fighting for social justice, sometimes I feel like we're like ninjas, just going out there behind the scenes, just fighting oppression and social injustices. Advocating for people who might not have a voice, who are very marginalized, advocating for anybody who might fall through the cracks of the system. I just love that idea that we're out there and fighting these injustices, and I like the idea to know that people who are very marginalized know that somebody's in their corner. I might not know you, you might not know me, but hey, I got your back. What I dislike, there's not a whole lot I dislike. I think it can be easy to get burned out if you don't practice self-care and take time for yourself, because the issues that we're working with are very heavy. Some of the issues social workers work with are the worst things humans are capable of doing to each other. And to deal with that every day, you can experience secondhand trauma. And that's a lot on your shoulders. So I think we just really need to practice self-care and look out for one another, or else we can get burnt out, and then our clients don't get the best version of ourselves. For me, a couple things. I'm a runner, so I run, and when I run, I don't listen to any music, no phone, no anything. It's just me and my thoughts. So self-care. I get 8 hours of sleep every night.
Whoa!
I know. I don't budge on that.
You don't budge on that, okay.
No.
That's awesome.
8 hours of sleep every night, and I juggle a lot of stuff, but that's my boundary.
Why you don't drink coffee?
I don't need coffee. Yeah.
Okay.
That way I wake up and I'm ready to go. And the other thing is I try to, at least twice a day, my goal was to sit still for 10 minutes. No phone, no computer, no music, not even reading. Just sit there and think my own thoughts. It's kind of silly, but it's like we always have something pumping information or social media at us. So I'd say, yeah, running, sitting still for 10 minutes, and sleeping 8 hours a day are my 3 things for self-care.
That's awesome. I love that.
My advice would be, 1, to do it, because it's awesome. 2 would be, don't worry about the money. People are going to say, oh, you're not going to make a lot of money. I think I'm rich in terms of friends and doing a job that I'm passionate about, and I pay my bills. So as long as you're able to do that, if you love what you do, the money will come. You know, you'll figure it out. But don't let the money be a deterrent. And then the other thing I'd say is that social work is such a broad field that whatever you are bothered by, or whatever issue is very personal to you, you can find a way to work with it with social work. So I think sometimes people think of, oh, you know, you're just going to be busting in houses and snatching kids. That's not the case. There's just so many jobs you can work for in social work, so it's a great field to get into. I don't know, I just love social work. Yeah, I've never had coffee before. And you know, a lot of people drink coffee and that's cool. I don't have anything against coffee, but I'm just so excited about life. Like, I wake up on a Monday and I'm like, it's Monday. I'm ready to go. And part of it is that it's just kind of my personality, but part of it too is that I grew up in a really bad situation. I've seen a lot of bad things, a lot of traumatic things happen when I was growing up. To my family, and so for me, I'm like, I'm out of that. This is so exciting, like the fact that I'm alive, because you know, there's rough numbers out there, but it's estimated like 300 to 400,000 people die a day in the world, just like naturally, you know, birth, death, that kind of rate. So the fact that I'm able to say, hey, it's Monday, is pretty freaking cool. You know, because I also think, like, I think of it like this. I think, okay, what if I got wrongfully convicted of a crime that I didn't do, and they put me in prison for 10 years? That would suck. Every day I'm in prison, trapped. How much would I appreciate the day I got out? I would be like, oh my God, this is the greatest, like, just freedom. So I'm like, okay, well, I have that freedom right now. Why can't I be just as happy without the jail sentence? Cozy,
yeah, very cozy.
This is the Sleeping Bear hot chocolate from A Cup of Commonwealth. I highly recommend it. It's my favorite, and you should drink it today. You know, it'd be suck if I lost a leg, but I have a leg. I have 2 legs.
You have 2?